Good afternoon, dear students. Good afternoon, all of you who are here in the audience. Good morning or good evening. I don't know who is where and how big time distance and difference has been going on. I hope that you hear us. And my name is Professor Dragica Vujadinović, and I was the leading person for organizing this spring school, but together with almost 30 professors from the Faculty of Law. And let me, at the beginning, give the floor to our distinguished, not guest here, because the OSCE mission to Serbia really has been the host of this whole event together with the Faculty of Law. But so let me give the floor to the Deputy Head of OSCE mission to Serbia, Sara Groen. Then I will give the floor to the Vice Dean of the Faculty of Law, Docent Nina Kršljanin. And then I will also say a few words before we start strictly at 5 o'clock with our first day of work. So Sarah, please.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world for those joining us remotely. It's really a pleasure to be here today to start out this program. So you are the first participants. It's likely there will be more versions of this, but for those of you who came today to join at the very beginning, thank you and congratulations on seeing the importance of this topic and the value of it. And I think your participation, your presence will contribute to making this a very useful program. I'm very pleased to represent the OSCE mission to Serbia at the Belgrade University's Faculty of Law. This is not the first time we've done a collaboration like this. It's been a few months since the mission and the faculty jointly opened the Environmental Law Clinic for another generation of law students. Perhaps even some here were involved in that, I don't know. We have a long-standing successful cooperation with the law faculty on developing advanced legal education. And I'm very glad that we've together brought this a step further with this pioneering initiative on gender equality in relation to the law. We can only hope that this program will be as successful as the Environmental Law Clinic has been. Through that program, we've educated more than 500 students in environmental legislation. I want to personally thank the Dean, Vice Dean, the organizing committee, and all of the professors for our successful partnership and for the impressive work on this pilot program. Equal rights for women and men and the protection of all human rights are essential for sustainable peace and security. The OSCE sees this issue through the lens of security, inclusive and comprehensive security, which is a core feature of what the OSCE does. And our work on this is guided by the 2004 Action Plan for the Promotion of Gender Equality, endorsed by all 57 OSCE participating states, including Serbia. In line with that action plan, the OSCE aims to assist participating states in the development and implementation of specific programs and activities to promote women's rights. So that's kind of a cumbersome quote from the action plan. The role of women should be increased at all levels of decision making, and equality between women and men should be promoted throughout the OSCE area, particularly through education in gender awareness. And we think that this spring school on law and gender really will help to advance those commitments. When we look into the future by supporting this event, the OSCE mission aims to support the creation of a strong network of legal professionals who are well-versed in gender equality. We hope that this network would work toward upholding Serbia's commitment to international standards and setting benchmarks for gender equality for a fair and just future for women and men. And this is definitely not about prioritizing one set of people over another. It's about including everyone and making sure that everyone's needs are reflected in the law, dealt with fairly, and that's, I think, what all of us are interested in seeing. The fields of law and gender intersect in a lot of ways, and these have a direct and noticeable impact on our daily lives. Research has shown that the legal frameworks do affect men and women differently. Knowing more about the relationship between law and gender will help strengthen justice for everyone. Dear students, I encourage you to make the most of the interdisciplinary nature of this program and work together, talk openly, and have useful exchanges with your faculty and your peers. I hope this program will contribute toward the OSCE's objective of building a more peaceful, prosperous, and democratic OSCE area, as was stated in the 1999 OSCE Istanbul Summit Declaration. At that time, the OSCE participating states committed to making equality between men and women an integral part of their policies. The success of this program will draw upon the experiences of everyone involved, enriched also by the perspective of our international participants, which I think will make this a really exciting and interesting and very diverse program. Thank you once again. I wish all of you many inspiring and impactful discussions over the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. In the name of the University of Belgrade Faculty of Law, I convey greetings from our Dean, Professor Zoran Milković, who was unfortunately unable to join us tonight. I would like to say that it is also my personal great pleasure to see all of you here as someone who is also here not just as someone presenting the faculty in general, but who will also be teaching at this school. It's a great pleasure to see many interested faces and many interested little squares on WebEx. We were very happy that so many people expressed interest in this spring school that is only going to be a first step, a pilot for the starting of our new Law and Gender Master program, which is the result of a very interesting international project that Professor Dragica Vujadinović was in charge of, and that she will tell you a few words more about a minute later. I would also like to express gratitude to the OSCE for the support for this spring school, and to convey our apologies that it was delayed from the initial dates that might have been more convenient both for students and teachers in the second half of April, but it makes me extra happy to see that so many of you are here despite the fact that it's the end of the semester, that exams are starting soon, and that you must have a lot of studying to do, but that shows that this subject is recognized as very interesting, that you see it as a subject that is current, though it also has a very rich historical dimension that we will be talking about with those who have opted for the historical course. So you will have many very, very competent, qualified teachers to hear the latest scholarly knowledge from. You will have the opportunity to express your own opinions, to ask questions, to think about the gender roles, the idea of gender equality, the differences between sex and gender, and so on and so on. And please don't be shy. Please don't come just to listen and then sit quietly. Participate in the discussions, ask questions, disagree with us, just argument what you disagree about. So you are the future hope of this country and of your respective countries. So please express your opinion, develop your opinion, confess when you make mistakes, try to convince other people when you think they have made mistakes, and that way together we will slowly work our way towards a better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nina. So we are coming more closely to the beginning of our work, but before that, I really again want sincerely to express my gratitude to OSCE mission to Serbia, because this is, how to say, the step forwards, one important step in our cooperation related to gender equality issues. As a matter of fact, we started already in 2017 and organized together the conference Gender Mainstreaming in Higher Education. Then we got the support for building the Gender Action Plan, the regulation of and protection against sexual harassment. Now we are working on this spring school implementation, realization. However, I believe that we will proceed and maybe the next year again organize something like this, but with new contents, of course. And we have also been in the process of signing the agreement, international project agreement with the OSCE, Faculty of Law and OSCE. It really is something very important for our faculty and the University of Belgrade. Nina mentioned that this spring school represents the follow-up of one huge project. As a matter of fact, recently we completed 3 years lasting European project called Strategic Partnership in Higher Education, and there 5 universities, our University of Belgrade and Faculty of Law was the coordinator, but also 4 consortium partners were Cadiz University, Saarland University, Cadiz from Spain, Saarland from Germany, Örebro University from Sweden, and Lumsa University from Italy. So the huge consortium which worked very successfully, very well, and we have, how to say, produced the curriculum of that new forthcoming master's program, Law and Gender. And as a matter of fact, I can say that our faculty and University of faculty has been in the process of the accreditation of this master's program. And I believe when we complete a rather complicated procedure of the accreditation that we will start with this master's program in 2025, 24-25, and also in the meantime with these consortium members we have been entering the process of applying for even bigger European project called Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Programs. So when we make it, and if we really will be successful in that regard, it really will be something revolutionary. When speaking about this spring school, the interest was really extraordinary for me, even unexpectedly huge, and we got around more than 120 registrations. However, because of this postponement, there will be a little bit reduction of the number, and I also expect, unfortunately, that some of our students will not be able to attend all the planned and opted for courses because the examination June examination term starts. Just to mention an interesting thing, that we have registered attendance from all over the world: India, Vietnam, South Korea, China, Russia, the whole region. I think only not Macedonia, but all other countries from the former Yugoslavia framework. Also Albania, Austria, I think Italy, Germany, and I can't remember all of them, but it really is a great, how to say, success, and all of you are very welcome all the time. This combination of the online and in-class work has some difficulties, but due to the corona experience, we have some positive elements of that corona and COVID crisis that we have been used to working also online. So we will see. I hope it will work successfully. And let us start with our, so now it is exactly 5 o'clock and we will start with our first course. Before that, just to say that we tried to cover during these 2 weeks almost all all subjects, all fields relevant for legal education, including positive law courses and those multidisciplinary courses which have been the part of higher legal education. In this case, we only will not have the private gender perspective in private law due to some objective circumstances, but the next time I promise that we also, you will have an opportunity, or other students who would register to attend also that course. Thank you very much, and let us start. Thank you, Sarah. Hvala, Nina.